Bad weather outside, a Sunday afternoon, so what's better to do than another viewer's watch collection review. Today we're going to talk about Christian's watch collection. Alright guys, let's go! Alright guys, before we start, big shout out to Christian. Thanks so much for giving me the opportunity reviewing and presenting your watch collection here on my channel. Guys, if you would like to have a review of your collection, send me an email via v_mr_b@gmx.de and let's see what I can do for you there. Alright, Christian's collection is very interesting, a lot of nice pieces. He starts actually getting into the hobby with already 7 years when he received from his grandmom a Casio quartz watch. He just recently purchased the Casio F90V, sorry when I stare down from time to time because I have here my iPad with its collection to keep track. Nevertheless, he received the watch from his grandma and gets interested into watches. With 29 he actually purchased his dream watch, Omega Speedmaster Moonwatch. And I think the Moonwatch is actually a good way to start the review of his collection. I do like the Omega Speedmaster, as you know. It's a cool piece, it's a versatile watch, and I think it belongs into every watch collection. So overall a good choice, Christian, and I think it's a good start for a watch collection. Watch number 2 on Christian's list is actually the Seamaster Professional 300 meter. The classical Seamaster with the ceramic bezel, and I think it's a very nice contrast to the Speedmaster. On the one hand, the Speedmaster with a hazelite crystal with the matte finish dial, on the other hand the Seamaster with the ceramic bezel and the shiny dial. I do personally like the Seamaster a lot. Actually a work colleague of mine does own the previous version with the wave pattern dial, which is as well beautiful and stunning. I think the contrast of these two watches is great, and yeah, already a good two-piece collection. Let's go on. Watch number 3 in Christian's collection is actually one of my favorite watches, the Omega Seamaster Aquaterra. Here again a black dial. Nevertheless, I think the tapestry, more or less sunburst dial does match pretty nice with the matte black dial of the Speedmaster and the shiny black dial of the Seamaster. Overall, in total, a pretty cool 3-piece Omega collection so far. Next piece of Christian's collection is not an Omega but a Longines. Here we do talk about the Longines Legend Diver. It's actually a pretty cool watch I do like a lot, belongs to Longines Heritage Collection. It is very vintage-ish, and yeah, I do know some guys do complain about the length of the lugs. I do like it a lot. It's a pretty cool piece. It has this vintage character. It's very versatile. Was great on different straps, and I think it's a great addition to strap. But so far, 4 watches with black dial. Let's see what's coming up next. Here I am starting complaining about just black watches, and what is the next one in Christian's collection? It is a Nomos Club in 36mm. Nomos is a great brand. I do like Nomos a lot. Actually thinking about purchasing myself a Nomos. Here I do think about the Nomos Ahoy with white dial. Nevertheless, back to the Nomos Club in 36mm. Nomos appears, or many Nomos models do appear much bigger than they are, and I think this is the same case for the Club. It's a sporty dress watch. It's more dressy than his Aquaterra from my point of view, and it is a cool piece. So Christian, for the Nomos, 2 thumbs up. I like Nomos a lot. Let's see what's next in his collection. Wer Where we did start very sporty, we now become more and more dressy with the Longines Evidenza Moonphase, a very, very beautiful watch from my point of view. I did check on their website. Unfortunately, it seems that in Germany this type of watch is not available anymore. There is an Evidenza line still, but not the version with the Moonphase, which is a pity because I think the Moonphase really pops as a beautiful piece, especially on the leather strap. So Christian, a great addition to your current collection. Refreshed back with Christian's watch collection, now with the Longines Hydro Conquest, a very interesting diver I considered when I was choosing actually my first real watch. Beside the Longines, I did have, of course, a Marcelo Tridente on the table and a Tag Heuer Aqua Racer. If I would be today again in the same situation, I think I would go with the Longines Hydro Conquest, as it's a very interesting diver with a great heritage, and I think the Longines Legend Diver does look very interesting beside this modern interpretation from Longines of a diver's sport watch. Christian's next watch actually is as well a Longines Hydro Conquest, but the GMT version, where Christian is thinking about selling it. And I do agree, I'm not a big fan of the Hydro Conquest GMT. I don't know, I do not like the design that much, and I think it is a good thought maybe selling this watch. Nevertheless, I do think a GMT function in the collection is a complication which is very interesting. To me, my fiancé is from Mexico. I do travel a lot, so to me this complication is very useful actually to keep track of 2 time zones. And maybe Christian considers also with the purchase of a newer watch, watch with a GMT complication. From Swiss to Japan with the Seiko Presage. I do like the Presage line, and they are very elegant. They do have a nice wrist presence. In particular, this model looks very, very nice. I do like how they designed the dial. I think in the Presage line they use the 6R15 movement, which is a little bit more reliable, a little bit more stable than the 4R36 movement, which works in the turtle models. A very interesting piece, and Christian is thinking about maybe to flip it, maybe to sell it, or maybe to keep it. He isn't sure yet. My recommendation would be, as I do think this watch fits perfectly in its collection, to keep it so far. So Christian, think about it. I think right now the Presage looks very good in your current collection. And from dressy, we become even more dressy with the Omega Devil 34mm dress watch. It's a manual winding movement. I think it's a very great addition to your collection. Again, a black dial. I do think your collection is overall very dark. I would recommend to add a little bit more color, maybe a little bit blue color maybe. Nevertheless, a very interesting watch. I don't know how the watch does suit you. I have to check whether you sent me a wrist shot of this particular model. If you did, I will show it somewhere here. Nevertheless, I do think the watch is a great addition to your collection. It's a very classical dress watch. 34mm can well big, as I know from some Nomos models, which they do present at 35, 36mm, and I think it could be a good watch to keep for the elegant moments in your life. Coming now to the all-time favorite SKX009. There's nothing else to say. Beautiful watch. I do particularly like it on the Jubilee bracelet. I just decided getting the turtle because I would like to have a watch with a hacking second. Nevertheless, I do love the SKX. It's versatile. It's a classic. I think it's a watch every owner should have in his collection. It's a beta watch at its best, which develops as well beautiful patina. So, what do you guys want me to say? Thumbs up. From the SKX to another classic from Seiko, a Seiko 5 Glossy, very beautiful watch, very alike to the 50 Fathoms, a watch you can really great mod, and it's a fun piece and is pretty cool and a pretty great addition to your current collection. Alright guys, let's wrap it up with Christian's final 3 watches. On the one hand, he does have Tissot VWCR. I didn't know this watch before, but it's a nice spot chronograph. I think there is a 7750 bonjour movement involved. Looks very sporty, good addition to his car collection. Again, a black dial, but what do I complain? The second one is a Smart System 51, which I do like. I think Swatch did there something great, building or producing in-house movement which just is made of 51 components due to the name System 51. And yeah, of course, it's not a hacking second, it's not the most accurate movements on the market. Nevertheless, I think Swatch proved again very nicely what is possible if you really would like to do a thing. And you do see these watches more and more as well with watch enthusiasts, because I think it deserves it deserves to be owned by also watch collectors, because it's a very interesting piece. And this final watch, of course, the Casio F90W, which is a reminder to his first watch, a Casio as well, he received as a gift from his grandmother. Alright guys, there we are with Christian's collection on the table. On the one hand, I think it's a very balanced collection. There are very beautiful pieces, all-time classics included. And yeah, I think the only thing which is missing is a little bit add of color. As well, Christian asked me to tell him my opinion about 3 watches he maybe long term would like to buy. Budget would be around 5,000 euros, and he's considering on the one hand the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso, Omega Globemaster with blue dial, or an IWC Portofino. The Globemaster, being frank, I'm not the biggest fan of. I do have a little bit peaks with the design of this watch. The movement is interesting though, but you do have already a lot of Omega watches, and you do have also an Omega DeVille as a dress watch in your collection, so I would not consider maybe the Globemaster, which is of course also my personal preference. IWC I do like, but I do have a little bit issues with how the brand developed the last years. I don't like that much the marketing they did for the Portofino. I think the Portofino is one of the newer lines. I do hate what they did to the current IWC engineers. If you consider IWC, I would recommend go more for the Portuguese. There is a Portuguese chrono there with the Bonjour 7750 movement, with a white dial, blued hands, blued markers, and I think this would be the better choice. And adding another brand to your collection is actually a pretty good idea. But as well, I do think instead of purchasing a IWC, getting some other watch was a little bit more of heritage, and you can get in this price range of 5,000 euros better alternatives for a better price value. As the Jaeger-LeCoultre Reverso. The Reverso does have the heritage, it's auto-horology for a good price. The prices on the used market did drop a lot, so as a guy who liked to purchase a Jaeger, this is the best time to do so. As well, I do think it would add very good to your current collection. Other recommendations from my side: on the one hand, if you do like to sell your Longines GMT, check Breitling. Breitling Avenger 2 GMT is a beautiful watch. It has all the Breitling trademarks. It does have all the Breitling design clues, which everybody likes. You have a full polished case. The watch was very flat. You do have the GMT function. It's a great watch and could be a great successor for your Longines GMT. If you would like to go a little bit more dressy, you could check actually the Breitling Galactic 41mm, which does have a panorama datum complication, which I do like a lot and which is not seen very often in this price range and in this type of watches. What about Rolex Datejust actually? I would think Datejust would add as well very well to your current collection. Especially if you choose Sunburst Blue Dial. I think this beside your Aquaterra would be perfect. Here with the Jubilee bracelet and the white god bezel, fluted bezel. And if you do look for a more dressy watch, why not go back to Nomos and check the Orion or the Tangente. Orion could be a little bit more difficult besides your Omega DeVille, but the Tangente I think could be also a very good addition if you would like more a sporty, elegant watch. Why not checking also the Nomos Ahoy, which is a piece I laid my eyes on actually recently. But alright, Christian, these are my recommendations about which watch to add to your collection. Alright guys, that was my collection review from Christian's collection. If you did like this content, I of course would appreciate thumbs up. Do as usual accept thumbs down. If you do have questions, comments, recommendations, do leave them in the comment sections below. As well, I would be interested in your opinion about Christian's collection. Which watch would you suggest him to purchase as long-term target? Guys, if you would like to see more of this content, please subscribe to my channel. I do wish all of you now a very happy Saturday afternoon. No, Sunday afternoon. See you in the next one. Goodbye and auf Wiedersehen. Ciao, guys.